Here's your Farm and Ranch Report from the Montana Ag Network.
Welcome back to the noon news. Look into our farm and ranch headlines here on this Tuesday. USDA's crop progress numbers are out for Montana, and the precipitation across much of the state has impacted the first part of the 2019 haying season. The first cutting of alfalfa was reported at 13% behind last year's average of 28%. Spring wheat is at 31% booted, and we did see those ratings fall with 55% good to excellent, 37% fair, and 8% poor to very poor. Winter wheat is at 89% booted with 45% headed with a rating of 22% excellent and 49% good, while sugar beets are at 8% excellent and 77% fair, and 15% of that crop is rated good. Now, as we look to other headlines related to crop progress, many producers across the nation are still being impacted by this year's weather. The Risk Management Agency says farmers who planted cover crops on prevented planted acres may be allowed to hay, graze, or chop those fields earlier than normal this year. RMA said a lot of thought went into the decision to move up the final haying and grazing date on those acres from November 1st now to September 1st.
We've had a lot of calls, a lot of questions, even some congressional inquiries about is there anything that RMA and USDA could do to help, with the significant challenges producers are facing this year, not only with getting crops planted, but the lack of being able to plant forage crops and have that availability this fall and winter. So we looked at the issue, did a lot of back and forth discussions among the department trying to figure out what we could do, what we couldn't do. We finally got to a point where we felt like we could do this.
Barbie said the changes in dates are only good for this year.
We've changed that haying and grazing date for 2019 only, and I want to make that very specific. It's for 2019 only. We changed that date to September 1st, and along with that, we've also determined that silage, haylage, and baleage will be treated the same way as haying and grazing for this year. So that will allow producers to not only hay those cover crops, but possibly chop them for silage as well.
Now, for more information, make sure and contact USDA's Risk Management Agency. Don't go away while more news right after this. Returning back today, President Donald Trump will be off to the G20 summit in Japan at the end of this week. He's scheduled to meet with China's President Xi Jinping face-to-face for a high-stakes discussion on trade, as with other issues in those talks as well. While most officials don't expect a long-awaited breakthrough yet, it is possible that Trump could be talked into not putting new tariffs on even more Chinese imports. The no-rush approach could also result of Trump's confidence that the U.S. could simply outlast its adversaries in a trade dispute. However, the go-it-alone foreign policy seems to be leaving the U.S. president increasingly isolated from key U.S. allies. U.S. ag groups continue to urge the administration to resolve trade disputes as soon as possible. And finally today, many experts also believe China's African swine fever crisis will benefit the U.S. in trade talks. New reports say China has banned direct and indirect imports of pigs, wild boars, and related products from the nation of Laos after the first outbreak of the African swine fever virus was found in the country. The World Organization for Animal Health says Laos confirmed the outbreak last week, and China, of course, was impacted and continues to be impacted since they are the largest consumer and producer of pork in the world. Well, that'll do it for today. We'll send it back over to the news desk.